Hey, it's Chris Van Fleet, and you are watching or quite possibly listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Woo!
You are listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approved Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler. I am joined, as always, by the one and only Mike. Mike, what's going on?
We're here for another week. Hopefully with one or two more people sitting around the old I don't know, YouTube, Spotify, speaker, something. I was gonna say radio.
You are already making yourself sound so old.
And
First,
that's I had to stop myself from saying radio. I'm like, wait, hold on.
you're about 2 seconds away from yelling at a cloud, but that's okay. First things first, want to give a huge shout out and a big thank you to Chris Van Vliet for joining us last week. What a phenomenal conversation. So fun to talk
What a
with him.
phenomenal human being.
Yes, and very big thank you to Chris. He was also incredibly kind enough to post this show, our interview with him, on his Spotify channel, which was amazing. So,
And
if
his YouTube channel.
if there are any real ones here today that are checking out Count It Out with Mike and Tyler for the first time, welcome. Thank you for checking us out. And a little bit about our show is we're a couple guys from Toronto, and we like to talk about wrestling. We usually do a top seven countdown every week, which this week we will be doing John Cena's top
Is that
top
Trent's,
seven
is that
rivals.
Trent's cousin? Yeah.
It's a distant cousin of Trent Seven, yes. John Cena's top seven rivals of his career we're going to be talking about. And every now and then we're lucky enough to get to talk to some of the biggest stars in the world of professional wrestling. And that's no exception this week because we are moments away from throwing to an interview that I got to conduct just last week with TNA Wrestling's Director of Authority, Santino Marella. And we're going to get ready to cue that up in just a second. Mike, you haven't even heard this interview yet, so I'm excited for you to
I
hear it.
I haven't, and I'm always this is Santino's return to the show, and he's always a good conversation. I always enjoy listening to anything that Anthony has to say. Whether did he do this in as Anthony? Did he do this in gimmick? Because you never know what he's gonna do.
This was mostly Anthony.
Yeah.
There's always a little
There's always a little
Santina,
Santino in there, you know.
always
Yeah,
a little
I
Santino, but
love that. I love it. Yeah,
there,
he's a great guy. We got very fortunate to have a really nice conversation with him. Man, that must have been like 3 years ago now, I guess.
yeah, a few years ago for
Yeah.
sure. But nevertheless, Santino is back. We are going to throw to that in a minute. Then we are going to come back, talk a little bit about the world of wrestling. There's
Yeah.
a big match on Saturday we're going to talk about, and maybe a couple little other things here and there. And then we're going to get into our top seven countdown. So let's get ready and throw to the one and only TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella. Thursday, January 15th, 9 p.m., TNA Wrestling is set to take over AMC. And here to talk all about it and so much more is the Director of Authority, Mr. Santino Marella. Santino, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, it's an exciting time, and it does feel like the beginning of an era. So it's cool when you can identify before before having to look back. You know what I mean? It's very clear that this is the beginning of something special.
Absolutely. And you have really had your work cut out for you lately as the Director of Authority with NXT running wild. Are we expecting maybe a little extra Christmas bonus from Carlos Silva for taking so much abuse lately?
Hey, that would be nice, man. Let's do a hashtag Christmas bonus. That'd be good.
Get it started, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the massive news. TNA Wrestling officially has its new home with AMC. You guys are coming off two of the biggest shows, the two biggest shows in the company's history this year. This has to have the entire roster incredibly excited and a perfect way to end the year off for TNA.
Yeah, to break the record at Slammiversary and then to break it again at BFG was incredible. There's been so many milestones this year. Having Joe appear on WrestleMania, even this weekend, Leon Slater. Saturday night's main event. The crossover for me personally, working with my daughter, has been a dream come true. It's just been an incredible year. I mean, there's so many different elements and reasons as to why this year was awesome. But and then after all that, we start we cap off the year with the deal, and then 2026 we start a new era. It just keeps getting better and better. Like it makes you
Absolutely.
wonder when's it going to stop.
Well, the sky's the limit for TNA Wrestling right now. And for yourself personally, as a veteran of the business and a veteran in that locker room, you guys have such incredible young and talent, like just incredible young talent littered throughout that roster. What kind of advice would you like to pass along to that younger talent with such an incredible opportunity with AMC coming up here?
Man, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's the stuff that you do when no one's watching. Everyone comes to work and gives it their all when the red light's on the camera. I would just say in your off days, just really dial in your nutrition and your weightlifting, your bodybuilding. America still likes jack guys and girls. The physique, they're so talented, but the physique is still an important thing. So I would just say make sure you get that discipline dialed in.
Absolutely. And with this new deal, we've had talks of possible more live shows in the future for TNA Wrestling. Do you think that's a really important step for the company moving into the new years to get some more live shows going?
Well, it's funny. That was yeah. I didn't think it was. I don't mind live to tape, but the networks do, sponsors do. So if they do, I guess I do too. It does add an element of excitement. When you're out there, is you gotta hit your marks and you got to do everything right. You have to execute 100% of the time. So yeah, there's no I'm sorry when it's live, right? You got to do it. But these guys also thrive under pressure. So that's just I always say it's excitement.
For
It's not
sure.
like fear or anything. Yeah.
For sure. And, working with such an incredible network like ANC, they have so many amazing shows. Is there any hope of maybe seeing some crossover stuff with TNA talent heading into some other AMC shows, maybe?
Oh my God, I hope so. I hope so. So when I left 2014, I had my neck surgery, but I was already, I'm a business owner, so I was kind of stuck running my business. But I've always wanted to do more TV and movies and stuff like that. So I really hope we can do some stuff, or even a spin-off show. I always wanted to do. It's our truth. That's WWE, but I always wanted to do like a police, like two detectives. So who knows? Maybe we can do that with two charismatic superstars from TNA. We can have our own spin-off detective show. You never
There you
know.
go. There you go. And maybe AMC will open up their Rolodex and possibly you could get Negan to lend you his signature bat to help keep those NXT talent at bay.
Yeah. So there is talk about having characters from some of their flagship programs appear on our program, which is cool. That's cool.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I want to get a little bit more serious here. At the end of Final Resolution, we saw chaos ensue. NXT talent stormed the ring. They tried to light it on fire. And unfortunately, the night it didn't end so well for you. Your own son-in-law, the new international champion, Stax, hit you with a nasty sucker punch. Can you comment on how you're feeling being in that situation with your own family, and especially so close to the holiday season right now?
Yeah, it's funny. There was a lot of comments about how awkward our Christmas dinner is going to be. Yeah, it's really they're not married yet, so they're engaged, but it's not like son-in-law yet. But my daughter's the one stuck in the middle of it, and when he comes over for the holidays, we are going to take a walk and we're going to talk about it a little more in depth. He did express remorse. That shit happens. People tempers get flared up, and we're all out there fighting for our jobs, and our job kind of involves fighting. So it happens. But if it happens again, yeah, now we got a serious problem. Uh, Everyone gets one freebie, but that's it, not two.
So you're saying that if it does happen again, there could be a chance we might see you lace up the boots and handle that situation yourself?
If it happens again, yeah, I'm gonna beat his ass.
Awesome. I love to hear that, man. Maybe your daughter should have taken some warning to not date somebody named Stacks, right? That could lead to some poor life choices.
Right, right.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of TNA stars. They took part in the tournament to determine who would be John Cena's last opponent. Were you happy to see TNA get such an opportunity like that? And like you said with Leon as well, this weekend?
Yeah, it's awesome. This TNA WWE has been very generous with the opportunities for TNA talent, but it also benefits them because they're kind of they got a couple talent, right? Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry. People are talking about, Leon Slater's like a closed deal. He's gone. He's not. He's still here. He's the future of pro wrestling. Period. I mean, any company. He's going to be a household name, and he's going to be a megastar, an absolute megastar. And he's such a great kid. Everyone's so excited for him. But the bigger, the bigger of a star he becomes, TNA also comes along for that ride because that's where he came from, right? Even AJ Styles, he's such a massive star, and I think just him being a star benefits TNA as well because that's where he came from, right?
100%.
It shows what we're capable of producing.
That would be a great match to see on the debut episode of AMC. AJ Styles and Leon Slater. Let's maybe
Yeah,
manifest that into the universe, right?
the X Division versus the youngest X Division champion. Yeah, that would be now. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah, there you go. You got the man with the power. Make some phone calls, right?
Right. Yep, I'm on it.
How cool was it for you guys to see AJ Styles back in TNA this year?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. He looked like he was just having an incredible time backstage because you know, he's been around when it wasn't always, like this, right? And even when I first started, like 3 years ago, it wasn't like this. So it's really cool to for me to watch this develop and grow in real time, and for him to come back and see, and I'm sure he keeps tabs on what we're up to and where we've been, but to see how we're operating now, I'm sure it's a good feeling for him.
Absolutely. Now at Bound for Glory, we saw maybe a little case of deja vu in your world here. We saw you step into the Call Your Shot Gauntlet Battle Royal. It was a pretty quick exit again, kind of similar to your Royal Rumble moment. Have you had a chance to figure out how this could happen a second time to you, Santino?
Yeah, because I looked around and there was nobody near me. There was nobody near me. And I was like taking my time, savoring the moment. And, Nick Nemeth, God, he is so fast. He just like exploded out of nowhere. And he was laughing about it later because I'm like, why would you do that after all that? You know what I've been through with that thing. And he was just laughing. I think he just did it like, not like to like hurt me, but like I used to kind of as a rib.
Absolutely. You've been great with your time. I've just got two more quick questions for you here. You have been known to have some slight pronunciation issues with some talent's name over the years. Do you have any personal favorite ones that have made you chuckle when they come out?
Oh man, yeah, no, there's a lot. I know like someone like Steve Macklin and Steve McLean, but it's like so close. Delisha Edwards. This is just TNA names. Um, Celtic Alessandro was Cedric Alexander. That one makes me laugh for some reason. Trey Miguel, said Trey Miguel. I'm trying to think of more. AJ Franchini, Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian. Trying to think of Leon Sletar. It's not really like different name, just the pronunciation's a bit different. So the hard part is I have to remember all the names that the way I call them when I'm listing off like the Hard Boys and stuff like that. when I'm listing off like a match with like a lot of people, I got to remember them all. Um, yeah, so no, that's fun. It's fun, and it's cool because it's kind of like not necessarily prestigious, but if there's a new person I'm working with for the first time, they're excited with how I'm going to say their name, right? It's like, how
That's
you going to say
awesome.
my name? So I got to come up with something good.
That's
Sometimes it takes a while. It's not like instantaneous, but I'll try and come up with a good one.
Well, I was live at the Air Canada Center when you pulled out the John Cena, and I still laugh about it to this day. So thank you for those fantastic memories. And the last thing I just want to end the interview, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the work you're doing right here in the Toronto area with your Battle Arts Academy. You're helping the next scene and the next generation training to be a pro wrestler. Can you tell the people just how they can get in contact if they have any interest to learn from yourself? And I believe Damien Sando's been down there a lot lately.
Yeah, he's the Thursday night coach. I'm the Tuesday night coach, and we have a beginners class on Monday. Um, yeah, it's fun, man. We have a new, there's like kind of generations of students. The first generation, they went out there and did their thing, and then there was the pre-COVID generation, and so we have a new generation right now. I actually stepped away from coaching for a while, and anyway, I've been back now since this year, so it's good. It's fun to have your fingerprints on the next talent, but they can just call Battle Arts or email. I think info@battleartsacademy.ca, and yeah, come on down. It's fun. We a part of the curriculum or a part of the education is putting on the student shows. So we have the Don Koloff Arena that serves as an arena for other indies. So to be able to have that just for your student show, it's pretty cool. Student shows, uh, they're pretty fun. You get pretty loud in there, and people are bringing family and friends. And recently, we had Pro Wrestling Revolver down there, and that show was
Mhm.
was awesome, man. The crowd was like crazy, so it's fun. I,
Absolutely.
they're long nights, when you're putting all the chairs away at the end, but they're definitely worth it.
Absolutely. As someone who's fortunate enough to be a ring announcer for a local promotion here, we have fantastic talent here in Ontario. Shout out Barry Wrestling, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I get to do some work with. So it's been fantastic that you have that hand in helping shape this generation, and it's going to be fantastic when TNA Wrestling takes over AMC on Thursday, January the 15th. I cannot wait to see it. Santino, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time today. And I want to wish you and your family the happiest of holidays, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Now I gotta ask, since I haven't heard this yet, like these people heard it before I did. Like
Yes.
that's insane to me. Because I haven't heard this yet, did you get him at least once to make reference to John Cena?
I did not. I did not get it, John.
Oh,
You're gonna have to listen to what we talked about John Cena on the show. So we mentioned him. You're gonna have to listen to it, Mike. You're gonna have to listen to it. See, I give our fans exclusives before I give them to Mike.
That's it. I love me some John Cena.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about John Cena.
Hmm.
Finally, the year is over for John Cena. His retirement tour has come to an
Oof.
end on Saturday night's
Yeah.
main event.
What a year.
A lot of mixed reviews to this whole retirement tour of John Cena.
Yeah.
Of course, it's wrestling, so there's going to be everybody that has their opinions. But right now, the opinion I'm interested in is yours, Mike. Let's take a step back before we talk about Saturday night's main event. And
Sure.
let's look at the year of John Cena and without we don't need to break down everything because we're going to do
No.
that in a later episode, but what would you grade the retirement tour of John Cena if
So
we're doing a grading system here?
we're going from January to December, right?
Mhm.
The full year. If I was doing a grading system,
From the first Raw on Netflix to his retirement match.
B minus.
I think that's a fair grade. There was definitely
I
a lot of
there was
highs.
a I enjoyed a lot more of it than your average quote unquote fan.
Mhm.
Here's the thing with these fans though. You could have took Johnny Mark and got him to write down everything he wanted from this tour. Then you could have gave it all to him and he would have said, "Oh, this sucks." You know what I mean? Like you want what you want until you get it, then you don't want it anymore. we've been talking about this for years, how they turn on people as soon as they get the push that they've been wanting them to get. The prime example right now is poor Gunther. Everybody for years been clamoring, oh, Gunther's your next guy, Gunther's your next guy, Gunther's the next guy. And Triple H says, okay, well, Gunther's the next guy. Gunther sucks. Why was it Gunther? Oh, and now he tapped out to Gunther. Oh, we'll get to the tapping out thing in a minute. But as far as all year long, was there some hiccups? Was there some speed bumps? Absolutely. Was this a perfect run? No. Were you expecting a perfect run?
No,
Who gets a perfect run?
nothing's perfect.
No.
I see a lot of comparisons, and I want to go on a sidebar here for a sec, but I see a lot of comparisons to people say, "Oh, well, Tony Khan knew how to book Sting's retirement," and I will say that Sting's retirement match, it's one of my favorite retirement matches. I really enjoyed it, but there's a big difference though. Sting fought as a tag team wrestler in AEW. He never had one singles match in AEW ever,
Thank you.
right? So it's a lot easier to put over Sting in his last match over the Young Bucks, who are bulletproof in AEW. They can win and lose. It doesn't matter. They are Mount Rushmore of AEW competitors because that's the Young Bucks and it's AEW. And there's nothing wrong. And the tag titles are not like it's easy to have a tournament for tag team championships in wrestling.
Sure.
Whereas with John Cena, it's a singles match against a guy that should be a major focal point of your company for the next 5 to 10 years in Gunter. And Gunter is a guy that I think needed that win is not the right word, but having Gunter do what he did to John Cena is a huge elevation.
100%. And for people saying, well, he's not the guy who needed the elevation. He didn't need the elevation. Nobody needs anything.
So let's use an example there because a lot of people are like, oh, Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes could have been a guy that beat John Cena. Sure, he could have been. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Carmelo Hayes is so young still, and he has never been put in that opportunity. And do you really want to take the chance on somebody to retire John Cena, like have his last match, and maybe not be the guy that can step up and do it? And I'm not saying Carmelo couldn't because he's very talented, but people seem to forget. Everyone's like, oh, well, Kurt Angle did it for Cena. No, no, no. John Cena debuted against Kurt Angle and then was a nothing on television for months and months and months and months after that, to the point where he was almost released, right? I think it's a lot smarter to take a guy like Gunter, who's already a established star, but not your A-list top of the line card guy, and push him up to the A-list, right? Because now they're already teasing him and AJ Styles, basically saying, you're next, AJ.
They're definitely teasing him and Brock.
Him and Brock Lesnar is a big money match, right? So, let's just say Gunter retires Brock and AJ, and who knows, maybe even Chris Jericho, right? There could be a story here.
100%.
Now he's your top guy. You put the belt on him again, have a run with him. He's a legend killer. Well, who else is a legend killer? That is probably doesn't have too many more years left in the tank either, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so much to do with Gunter. Well, we're developing these guys like Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker and Obi and whatever this next generation of stars that aren't. And I know everyone's like, put Braun Breaker over in WrestleMania or in Royal Rumble and put the belt on him. I just think it's a little too soon still. And I think another year. I think another year of having Breaker do the slower build up will be better for him than quickly putting a title on him in the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania.
I won't be mad if they wait a year, but I definitely disagree that it's too early. If they do it, if they pull the trigger this January, I will not be upset.
I think they should have him lose to Punk in the Royal Rumble. I think that's a great spot for him.
My biggest problem right now it's not my problem, it's everybody else's problem, is no matter who won this tournament, no matter who, it would have been a problem. Because if it was Carmelo, then it would have been people like, who's Carmelo? Who cares about this guy? Who should have been Gunther?
Why is the 6'7" guy fighting Cena?
And it was the same thing with Jey Uso. People were bitching that Jey Uso was getting anything. And then as soon as Jey Uso lost that match, it was Oh, they did to him like they did with against Punk. They're burying Uso. They had him lose to Punk. Now they had him lose to Gunther. If he beat Gunther, you'd be bitching too. Why? What is it with wrestling fans with the constant need to complain about everything?
It is getting tiring.
Just take it. And I don't even know if you want to go into the bullshit that the crowd pulled on Saturday.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I want to talk
The
more about Cena in
oh
the match first before we get there. A lot of
well,
people.
we're not even at the match. You where this started. You asked me about the year.
Hmm.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You made the comparison to Sting, and I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here and say that you can't do that comparison fairly for one major reason. With Sting, how long?
With who?
How,
Sting.
how long? Well, that picked up. You're getting good at that.
I
How long before the actual match did they announce? Oh, Sting's last match is coming up.
I
A
can't
month,
remember
two
to be
months?
honest. Yeah, it was a
It
bit.
wasn't long. Okay, that was perfect. That was a perfect amount of time, and people weren't. They couldn't get sick of it. They couldn't have expectations. They couldn't. It was, hey, this is happening, and it happened. When you have something that you hype for 6 straight months, and then it takes a year to tell the full story, you're giving the people a lot of time to be whiny little piss ants about it. And
Well,
I'm not saying they shouldn't have done this tour. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that you can't compare the two. You can't compare a 12-month story to a 2-month angle.
the other thing people forget too is that they probably told about 2 or 3 years worth of story in 12 months also.
100%.
They crammed a lot into that 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
A lot into that
And
12 months.
and people want to complain. People want to complain. Well, they only gave us 36 dates. Look what they did in 36 dates. 36 appearances, 18 matches. In 18 matches, first of all, we'll talk about this in a couple of weeks, I'm sure, when we get to the year-end stuff. But the man had bangers this year. He had
Two
18 matches, and we're gonna definitely talk about a small handful of them.
two of his matches on the second half of this year are both
Mhm.
strong contenders for match of the year candidates.
hundred
And you
percent.
know what? I'll say even three because I thought his last match with Gunter was phenomenal as well.
Sure. And I'm gonna go ahead and say there's some matches that people aren't giving enough credit to right now. I think his match with Dom Mysterio needs to be talked about right now
Mhm.
about one of the best matches of the year. I'm not sure if this is one of the two you're talking about. I have a feeling, knowing you, it's not. You weren't the biggest fan of his match with Punk, were you?
I mean, it was good. I just thought the finish
I
was really overbooked. I
that's
love the
what I'm
match until
talking
the
about.
end. I agree. I
And
just
I
think it was a little too Jeff
and
Jarrett TNA days for me. I was getting PTSD.
and his match with AJ is a top contender for match of the year for me.
100%.
Speaking of Jeff Jarrett, he joins my list of morons who needs to stop
I'm okay with Double J.
everything. No, I'm not. You don't come on here, call out the WWE office saying, time honored tradition, my ass. Back in the day, people went out on top. The best go out on top. He should have went out on top. I would have booked him on top. Okay. Let me remind you something, Jeff. You booked two companies and you put them both in the fucking ground.
Well,
All right.
he only
You
booked one
that's
of the companies.
I guess you
He didn't book WCW.
no, I'm talking about TNA and GFW.
Oh, GFW.
Or,
That doesn't
well,
count. They don't count.
well, he tried.
They don't count.
A for effort, Jeff.
I don't know. Listen, there's two arguments that can be made here, and I get both of them. I'm gonna go right down the middle here. I get the fact, hey, put somebody over and see you later, John. Thank you. And now it's time for the next wave to go because that happens a lot. I get why people would want somebody like Cena to go over in his last match. That's why I suggested many months ago that I don't think it would have been the worst thing on the planet to do a six-man tag for his last match. I'm just putting it out there. I think it would have been a fun Fun
At the
thing.
end of the day, and I've been saying this all year, you just do what John wants to do. And I truly believe this is what John wanted to do.
I want to
I
talk.
believe I also believe the theories that the tap out was inaudible.
I
I
want to talk about the tap out.
mhm. I think I don't think that was part of the script. I think John may have told Triple H, I'm going to do this, but he didn't tell Gunther.
Maybe.
I
I
truly believe that.
did you like the tap out?
Yes.
I love the smile. I loved
And
the smile.
that's why you've known me long enough, Tyler. What do I like about my professional wrestling? It's
Rowdy
the
Piper.
storytelling.
Oh yes.
That too. I, it's the storytelling. The storytelling comes first for me. And that was a beautiful story John told. When he got put in that sleeper again and he's sitting there, he has this look on his face and then he smiles and even the tap out, it was not a tap out. It was like, okay. And it was him, that look, that whole moment was him coming to peace with everything, going, it's time. It's a morbid comparison, but it was like an old man drifting off to sleep, knowing he's about to die, saying, it's time. Take me, Lord. You know what I mean? Like it was him saying, okay, good. I'm good now. Let me go. I liked it. I actually really truly love the finish of this match.
I go so back and forth on if I love the tap out or if I wish he would have passed out. I feel like if he would have passed out, it would have been more powerful than the tap
Here's the
out.
thing. And I get why people say that, because people are like, oh, well, he's John Cena. He doesn't give up. He never gives up. He's only tapped out. This is the fourth time
Fourth
in his
time.
career.
First time in 20 years.
Yeah, he like his whole catchphrase is don't give up. You sent me a very funny meme with the South Park kid, screaming no, and I get that part, but at the same time, the story is of this old veteran on his way out. He knows he's done. I didn't see it as him giving up. I saw it as him giving back. That's the story being told. He's not because he didn't have to give up. That's what I think people are missing. People aren't smart enough to get this whole thing. He didn't have to tap. He chose to tap.
See, I don't like that though. I don't
And
like
I
that.
do.
I don't
It
like
was him
that
saying
analogy of it.
he
I look
went
at it more.
he went in saying, I'm probably going to lose this.
No
And that's
way.
okay.
No,
Yeah.
I don't look at it like that at all. I look at it as
I'm going in. I'm going to make this kid.
no. Well, okay, from a like maybe a real life standpoint, but
No,
the John Cena
according to
character,
character standpoint.
no, nobody, no wrestler in a character standpoint ever goes into a wrestling match going, "I'm gonna make this guy." Like that's silly. You're being silly right now. But
Undertaker always told you he was going to make you famous.
that is fair. But that was then he would throw you off a Hell in a Cell also. To me, that moment was John fought so hard, and this is the end. This is all he had to give, and he just couldn't get out and couldn't escape Gunter. And the moment of realization came in, and his body just couldn't do it anymore, and he became at peace with this is it.
Yeah.
I'm retired now. My body can't do this anymore. He was at peace with it. I agree with that part of it. I just don't know if I like the tap out or if I would like to see him smile as he passed out. I just think that would have been such a strong, I think that just would have been such a strong image because like the way the tap out when I first watched it, he just smiled and tapped out, and I was like, that was weird. And then when I like watched it again, I was like, that was powerful. But like I think that the smile and him just falling asleep and being unconscious would have been so strong.
Now,
It fit with the motto though of the never give up.
yes.
I would have I did like that.
This also might fit into the theory of him calling an audible. If he was going to
Yes.
pass out, then Chad Patton pretty much has to be in on it, because Patton has to know to lift the arm and all that shit. It might be too sloppy for him. Just doing that and making sure that Patton sees him do that might be where he was going with that.
Well, I mean, to play devil's advocate, if he's calling an audible, that could make Patton screw up more, right? Because like he's not expecting that, and like what the hell,
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
But I
I
mean,
don't know.
it was
Well,
a
I don't think we
shocking
ever will know.
moment. It was a shocking moment. It
Okay.
was a beautiful match.
Thank you.
I
So can we take the finish out for 1 second? I think the finish will always be controversial. Which, by the way, apropos, he was called the most controversial champion of all time. Why
absolutely,
not have a controversial finish?
I
Makes
agree.
sense. So let's take that finish out for a second. Before he taps, your thoughts on the match?
I
Because
loved
I
it.
thought you just called it a beautiful match. I couldn't agree with you more. I because it was different than any other story he told. He was doing the hits for the last pretty much since SummerSlam. He's just been going back and doing the hits. Well, there is no hits with Gunther. So what do? And
Why?
he told a new story and an old story at the same time.
I mean,
It
all
was
he did was the
phenomenal,
hits in this match, though.
but
He,
in a very different way
yeah, in a
because
different way,
because it
but
because
it
because of
worked.
his yes. I loved
His
every bit of
first
it.
offensive move in the match was the five moves of doom, which I
Yeah,
loved. I love
which
that, and
which
that's
it
how it should
had to
be.
be. Yeah.
The fact that he did the
No.
"You can't see me" 3 times in the
Okay.
match, I thought was amazing.
I did too. What was your thought on on Gunther getting up for the third one when he pumped up the crowd saying, "This is the last time. This is the last time. You'll never see it again. It's the last time." And then Gunther gets up and you don't get it. What was your thoughts on
What a
that?
great spot.
I agree as an adult wrestling fan, as a person who's in the know, smart psychology. I get that. Let me tell you, that pissed a 7-year-old off.
Well, you know what? Your son got two. He got two of them. All right. Be happy you even got one
Yeah,
because Gunter's a bad man.
my son cried for a straight hour after that match.
He wasn't the only one.
He wouldn't talk to me. He put a blanket over his head and he sat there on my couch and cried for a fucking hour. I couldn't console him. I couldn't. And I didn't know what it was. Like, you knew this was coming. We prepared for this for a year. But no, the fact that John lost, he got emotional when he lost to Dom too, by the way.
Hmm.
So, but this was 10 times worse. Um, but I think this is just what John does to his fans. This is, um, yeah, to do a whole roundabout, I really, really enjoyed Saturday night's main event in the whole.
Hmm.
But this match, I think, was a fitting end to his career. I just wish the fans showed a bit more respect at the very end.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
get you
think
don't
that
like
was the
it. I
time
get
to boo
I
Triple
no
H. Hey, listen, you know what a great time to do that was? At the post press conference when they did that? Sure.
sure
Go
sure
nuts. That's
because
a great
guess
time to
what?
do it. I'm not
Because
saying
I
don't
would
have a voice.
because if I was in Washington that night, I'd be already halfway to the fucking train by the time the post show went on. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My problem is I don't care what you guys think. Okay, WWE is still aimed and garnered for fucking children. Okay. So the fact that if I'm sitting in there with my 7-year-old kid and you're all screaming obscenities for an entire 40 minutes, I'm not happy.
Well, I mean, they did chant F you Gunter a bunch of times as well throughout the show.
This is what I'm saying. Through the last 40 minutes of that broadcast was fuck you Gunther's asshole for a
Asshole's
lot
fine.
of it.
Asshole's
It's
fine.
it is for a fucking 30-second chant. It's not good for a half-hour match, Tyler.
They
It's
didn't chant it
overkill.
for a half hour. They chanted
Go
it
rewatch
twice.
go rewatch that match. 90% of that match is them chanting either asshole or funk you Gunther. The whole match.
Um,
Not do you know how much that match got censored? It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Listen, I get it. I'm not.
If
I
I
don't.
wanted that, I'd switch over to TBS, okay?
I wouldn't. To me, that isn't the part that bothered me. To me, it was the post show when the match was over and John was in the ring, and they're
And
chanting,
they're
we want Vince," and booing
that was
Triple H, and
that was John's time. That wasn't
100%.
they
That was a classless moment by the wrestling
but
fans.
this is something
Wrestling, the wrestling fans just like they need
this
to
is something you have
understand. They need to understand you're not. you're not part of the show. You
Thank you.
are a fan. So and all these content creators, people like you and I, Mike, we know we're not part of the show. We go and watch it as a fan. I don't sit there and live stream myself and go, "Oh, I'm the star." Like I don't do that. And whatever. I'm not like bashing content creators because they put out their content. I enjoy a lot of content creators' work. Like I like watching the live
I wouldn't
footage
say
of
a
it.
lot.
I like watching the footage that they shoot, but I don't like when people make themselves
The
part of
star.
the show. You're a
Yeah.
fan.
No.
Sit there and be a fan. You're not a gimmick. You're not part of the show. You're not just be a fan. And all these fans that think they're so smart chanting, F you Triple H and you effed up and all this stuff like
My favorite chant was AEW. When you're sitting there chanting AEW at him, do you think he cares? Do you think that hurts his feelings?
no.
You already gave him your money.
I just don't get it. But so I thought that was a classless moment to an otherwise beautiful night.
100%. And the rest of the show was great. I know you did not like the ending to the opening match.
No, I think they should have
You
put
you
Obi
had
over.
you had big problems with that, and I would have
Yeah.
been okay with that too. I would have been okay no matter how that match ended. I didn't like the DQ end, but I'm not as mad about it as you are, if that makes any
It's
sense.
just, it's the second time this year that there was a match that was really like really
Mhm.
delivering and just a terrible
Especially when it
finish.
came, and both times it was to promote a future star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 and
I get
that
it. I
because
I, I totally get that.
because of course, for anyone that does not, I'm referring to Leon Slater versus Javon Evans from earlier this
Hmm.
year, which I think would have been the match of the year had you not done that finish.
I think it's still
Um,
my match of the year, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's just I don't have a problem with DQ finishes. I don't. And I'll give you a great example. I absolutely love Kurt Angle versus Steve Austin at SummerSlam 2000.
Sure,
And the DQ finish didn't ruin the match for me.
because it also fit the storyline. It,
It fit
it
the
made
story,
sense,
there it
and
made sense. I
yeah,
blah 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 blah. I just like just to
but
have
this,
Drew run out just from out
yeah,
of like that feud's not hot enough. Like Cody and Drew, like I get it. They shot the stuff now with Cody going to
it's
Drew's home and they're trying to make it more
it's
personal and
it's
whatever.
kind of
But
a it's kind of a warmed up turd at this point, though.
and especially like the first match of the night, it's like, oh man.
Yeah,
And they were really showcasing Obi really good, Obi
yes, they
really
were.
good, right? Like they were really making him look like $1 million. I just don't think anything would have been wrong with having Cody lose there. That being
Yeah, no,
said, that
I am in agreement with you. I'm just not as passionate about it as you are.
that being said, Drew McIntyre is hilarious on Twitter. Did you see the picture he
Oh,
posted of Cody?
I don't think so, but
So
I love the stuff he
after
posts. So
after the show went off the air, Cody stayed at ringside and got emotional looking at Cena's shoes in the ring.
yeah, yeah.
And Drew like took one of the pictures of it and was like, oh, the camera's still on. Better shoot me. Better shoot me. Like it was just really funny. Like
That's very fun.
also Jey Uso, you got to chill on the booze, man, because he was absolutely hammered
Okay,
post
all
show.
right. Let's talk about that. Why
Why what?
was was he working?
No, but he embarrassed
No,
himself and the company on television.
I don't agree.
Well,
The man's an
That's
adult.
why you don't run the business. Yes,
Nah.
exactly.
Well,
The man is an
until
adult.
I heard until I hear that Triple H had a problem with it, then everyone else can go fuck
Listen,
themselves. No,
that's fine.
unless his
That's a
boss had
terrible
a
look.
problem with it,
I don't, it doesn't
unless
matter if his boss had a problem with it. I'm letting you
nah,
know. Terrible look. Absolutely terrible look.
I bet you've never gotten drunk at a company party or nothing before, eh?
That's
Never
fair. I was
nasty yourself
never,
at no.
I'm not a public figure.
Ah, come on now.
No, man,
The guy's a, the guy's
when
a,
you're
the guy's
dropping
allowed to have some
F-bombs,
fun.
yes, you are. But when you're dropping F-bombs on TV, sorry, man, you're an idiot. You can't do that.
Yeah.
There's a big
I,
difference. When him and Cody did it a couple years ago when they won the tag titles and they were
I was
drunk at the
fucking
press conference,
and
that
everybody
was
thought that was hilarious.
because they were funny and it was fine and he was in control of himself. He was a
Well,
mess. And
he
it
tried to get it. He
also
tried to get out of that situation, and she pulled him back in.
she pushed him out at the end. She pushed him out. Okay, Jay, we're
But
done talking here.
well,
Also, she probably didn't know he was hammered drunk because Jackie Redmond's a professional and wouldn't pull somebody that's hammered drunk on TV, right? No, I'm not okay with that. You can't drop an F-bomb. Also, big difference on a post-show press conference at Backlash and John Cena's last match. Big difference there, man. Jey Uso, get it together, man. You can't do that on a night like that on television. Party after, do whatever you want, but man, you're on television dropping F-bombs. You can't do that.
But he wasn't supposed to be. That wasn't planned. That wasn't he
So
wasn't
then
slated to be on television.
So when you walk out there and are ringside, you don't know you're going to be on television. When you're told we're all going out after, you're on television and you know that.
Yeah,
No, you
not gonna.
can't. You can't do it. You can't.
I mean, I'll agree with you. You shouldn't have been dropping f bombs,
But
but
but that's because he was drunk, right? Like there was a direct account there. Jey Uso was drunk and he acted like an ass on television and he embarrassed himself and it was a terrible night for the company.
so it's only okay to drop f bombs if your name's The Rock and you're sober.
I don't agree anyone should drop F-bombs on television. You know that.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
The Rock owns the company. So if he wants to drop he's like a major stockholder. So there's a big difference in Jey Uso and The Rock. If The Rock wants to drop an F-bomb on something that he's the boss of, I don't agree with it, but I mean, hey man, you're the boss.
all right. Anything else to talk about Saturday night's main event before we? I have one small thing about things before we go to the list.
No, I got
Anything else about
nothing.
Saturday night?
I got nothing. I
Only thing,
enjoyed it.
only thing about Saturday night I'll say is I highly enjoyed the tag match,
Yes, me
but
too.
that
Me too.
shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
Leon
That
Slater
match,
is a star. Leon Slater challenging for the NXT
jo-
heavyweight title now.
Leon Slater is a star. Javon Evans is a star. That that whole thing is oh so good, so good.
How
The few we're going to talk about this a lot in the next few weeks, but god damn is the future in good hands.
it is.
And that was John Cena's whole point of wanting to do this show, showing us what the future has in store.
And they stepped
And
up. All of them
them
stepped up. All four of them.
and them choosing an NXT superstar, or sorry, a TNA superstar in Slater to come over. I'm not gonna say it was a risky move, but it was ballsy. It was
It's
you
about
know
time
it
they
was
did something
it
nice
was
for
a good move,
TNA. It's about time.
right?
It's about time they gave something back.
Yeah. So it was a great match. I loved everything about it. AJ Styles. Let's talk about AJ for a minute because over the last I don't know 4 or 5 weeks, not counting the weeks we had Sick Boy, you and I have had a lot of conversations about who we consider to be talked about for the greatest of all time, all round. Yes,
Yeah.
but one name that was dropped by um, John Cena himself on our Friend CVV show as the all-time great was not talked about by us at all, and that's AJ Styles.
Mhm.
So I'm asking you, John Cena calls AJ to be the best to ever do it. Does AJ make your top 10?
I can't comment.
Greatest all-round performer.
I can't comment on how John views it because John worked him,
Well,
right?
that's it. We're not going to see things in the same light as John. Of course not. You have
Um,
to, you as a
no,
fan, you as a wrestling
no.
fan, does John make your top 10?
AJ doesn't make my top 10. He's probably my top 20 though.
I
I
think
would
you would have
say.
to be. Yeah.
It depends on what your criteria is, right? Like, is it
Well,
because if you're like because he's over exceeding in so many areas and a little bit under in certain areas as
where
well.
where does you hurt? The draw, I guess,
The
because
yeah, draw.
he was never the draw of a major
He-
company.
I mean,
Um,
even drawing though, like he was a big draw in TNA. He,
when but a draw in TNA at that point in time was still, you know,
his
I don't know.
promo skills are up and down. They've been really good the last like 5 or 6 years.
I've never had a big problem with his
But
promo
he's
skills.
not. But he's not a top promo guy. You know
The
what I
fact that
mean?
the fact that they called back to the beat up John Cena thing made me
Hmm.
so happy.
That was the him and Gallows Anderson thing. Yeah, they had
Yeah.
like AJ's always been a good promo, but he's never been like you're never gonna be like, oh man, that AJ Styles promo like changed my life. You know
No,
what I mean?
true enough. Yeah.
Like he's very good. I don't think he is under any of the levels. I just think that
Okay. So now let's take everything. Let's go a different route. Let's just go to in ring.
okay,
Top 10.
of all time in ring.
Mhm. Okay,
Uh,
that's too hard. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. Last 20 years, top 10
yes.
in
Oh
in
yeah.
ring.
Last 20
Okay,
years for sure.
last 20 years. Okay,
For sure.
last 40 years.
Uh,
So we're gonna go back to the 1980s.
Probably not, but
So you're
maybe
telling
maybe like
who?
maybe an 8 or 9 spot.
So this is where I'm confused. Who from 1980 to 2000 is better than AJ Styles?
Oh, there's a lot of guys that are right there with him. You got your Mr. Perfects, your Bret Harts, your Shawn Michaels, your Ricky Steamboats. Um, Depending on if it's like your Kurt Angles. It depends how you look at it too. Some
Sean
people,
and Kurt are both in the last 20-year list though. So
yeah. But
yeah,
your 40 years is you that goes into Bret Hart range.
yes,
That goes into Macho Man range. That goes into Dynamite Kid range. That goes into
I it, I think I put AJ over Macho. I
in
put I
ring
put
only.
just talking in ring.
I enjoy AJ's work more than I enjoy Macho Man's in ring work for sure.
Yeah,
It's hard.
Dynamite. That's how Dynamite's hard though. Dynamite's
Chris Benoit, I know like
yeah.
he's
Well, Benoit's in there.
Jericho, like Jericho's phenomenal matches over the last 20 years.
Hot take.
Edge.
Hot take. I think I put AJ over Jericho.
I
In
mean,
ring only. In
that's not
ring
a
only.
that's not a hot take. They're there. You know, Randy Orton you
Mhm.
talk about, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like there's so many
I think I might put
Samoa
AJ.
Joe.
I think I might put AJ and Orton on the same pedestal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a bad argument. Just it's just so hard, you know. Some people think Ric Flair is the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time, and some people think he's a paint by numbers guy, right? Like that's where your personal
I'm
preferences come
direct.
in.
That's hilarious because I'm directly in between. I will never be disrespectful enough to say he's paint by numbers, but greatest in ring of all time, I don't agree with that either.
No,
So
yeah,
I'm
like
directly in between that.
to me, I think Bret Hart is the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time. I just think his stuff always looked the most realistic.
Yeah,
I thought his psychology was better than anybody else's. I
yeah.
mean, but
So,
then like Shawn Michaels is
but
Kurt
Sean and Kurt are, I think,
Angle.
right up there with him.
Sean's got more showman and pizzazz in his work as well,
Yes, yeah.
right? Kurt's like Bret Hart. Dynamite Kid is like what a technician
You
he
you
is.
you mentioned Kurt Hennig as well.
Kurt Hennig.
If we're just talking in ring, there was anybody could have a great match with Kurt.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. You know who I don't think gets enough love. I don't think he's in my top 10, but
Gunter.
I gotta throw his name Gunter. I don't think Scott Hall gets enough love for his early in ring work either.
His in-ring work was always solid, but like all the other guys that we just named, like you're like, what's your best match ever? Like for Scott, it's the ladder match with Sean. You'll immediately go to
Sure.
that, right? But you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
like there's not a lot of those like, oh my God, that Razor Ramon match like was unbelievable. It blew my mind. It's the match of the year. He was just always good. Like everything he did was good. I can't hear you. You're gone. Your microphone's
Hello?
off. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Oh, okay. I think that's going to be my goal for 2026. I'm going to do a greatest Razor Ramon match list.
I would love that. Don't sleep on his tag team with Kurt Hennig and the AWA. Well, let's do you want to get into our list? We can get into the top seven John Cena rivals, I think. Are you ready for that?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me well? Do I
Yeah.
sound okay?
You
All right.
always sound good, brother.
Ooh, you're so nice. It must be Christmas. Um, so okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do rivals. I know you had a backup list as well. Didn't know where you were on that. So
Yeah, let's
we're
go
gonna
with
do
rivals.
rivals, I think is something we've discussed a lot this year. I think this is a topic that's come up a few times, but this is going to be the official list, I think.
All right, let's do it.
Did you make a list as well?
I didn't make a list, but I've got rough ideas in my head.
Yeah. Okay. My number 7 is a man we just spent several minutes talking about. I don't think you can talk about John Cena, especially in the last 10 years, without talking about AJ Styles.
Only your number 7. I would have had him like much lower.
So
yeah.
I had a feeling you're going to you're going to say this, and I'm going to give you my reasoning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we were just saying, if we were only talking about only matches, I think he'd be my top 3. But when I think of rivals, I think of storytelling encompassed, and I think there's 6 better people that told stories better with him.
I mean, we just mentioned beat up John Cena. That's still going strong all these years later.
True enough.
They had that great trilogy of matches. They had the 3, was it 3 in a row or two in a row they did?
2 in a row, yeah.
2 in a row, and then the Royal Rumble.
And then, but matches can't be touched. AJ had John Cena's best matches.
Do you think AJ had his best matches of all time? I kind of do.
He had all 3 of the AJ John Cena matches,
and then the 4th one they did this year.
And all 4 of John Cena versus AJ matches would be in my top 10 John Cena matches.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like that. That's how good that is.
I think he was his best opponent. Maybe I really do.
I best opponent, and that's why I list this as rivals. Best opponent, AJ Styles.
Yeah,
best rival. Then we're talking about full encompass storylines I could really sink my teeth into. That's why a lot of other people's lists. I'm going to peel the curtain back for a second. A lot of other lists I saw had Shawn Michaels on the list. Shawn Michaels isn't on my list because I don't.
They had fun.
What the story? I don't remember what the story was.
They had a fun feud where they were tag partners. Remember
their match at WrestleMania 23 question mark?
Yeah, 23.
Their match 23 is one of my favorite John Cena matches. Probably it's in my top 3 favorite John Cena matches. But I don't remember why they had that match. I don't remember why John Cena came out to DX music. Or I mean, why Shawn Michaels came out to DX music with no DX? I don't remember anything about it.
Hunter tore his quad. It was supposed to be Hunter.
So that's why Shawn's not on my list, and that's why AJ is only number 7. I hate when lists start like this, because when my number 7 is somebody that you think should be number 4 or 3 or somebody, now everybody I mentioned, you're going to be like, wow, yeah, he's on the list, but above AJ, fuck you.
I do also think, though, that the match quality makes the rivalry big as well.
Okay.
So I do take match quality into consideration when I talk about greatest rivals as well.
Well, then maybe my placement AJ is wrong.
That's my criteria.
I'm going uphill now because
at least he's on the list. No
matter what I say, you're going to be upset.
It depends what your number 6 is.
My number 6 is a man that I really wish would have been in the crowd on Saturday. I really do. We saw Kurt Angle, we saw Haku, we saw Kevin Owens, and so many great people in the crowd.
You know why Haku was there, right?
I don't understand that.
Make sure Cena did business, brother.
I love that. That's why Taker was there too. Did you see Taker at ringside? He was wrapping up his fists.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He was unwrapping his fists at ringside.
I'm sorry, he was unwrapping. Yeah, that's it.
Good boy, John.
No, this man's absence from the entire run, the entire tour, breaks my heart. But I'm sure there's good reason, a personal reason why he wasn't there. But my number 6 is Dave Bautista.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I like their stories, and I've liked every one of their matches.
Their matches are very underrated. They've always 100%. Had good matches.
They always had good matches. Their match at WrestleMania I watched it not long ago because Finney, my son, went through this phase of only wanting to watch John Cena WrestleMania matches. So we watched almost all of them. I think there's only 2 we haven't watched. So I rewatched that Batista match. Fuck, is it good?
Mhm.
I forgot how good that match is.
They have a really good match at SummerSlam the year before too.
They're in between. They're back and forth at the Royal Rumble is fantastic. Everything they do together, they're very magic together. They had a very good chemistry, a very good relationship.
Well, and they came up together too. They both OVW. Cena went to
100%.
Raw, Batista did SmackDown. Like they were both the faces of the company. A lot of parallels there.
OVW might be talked about quite a few times in this list.
Fair enough.
Now you seemed okay, but not okay. Now, obviously, you don't like Batista being on top of AJ, but does Batista belong on my list?
How you feel about how you describe the AJ rivalry is how I feel about the Batista one. I wasn't a big fan of their story lines that they ever did.
Oh, okay. All
so
right.
how you felt about AJ is how I feel about Batista.
So just kind of flip them around.
I would I like Batista in a number 7
Would Batista
spot.
be your number 7? Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's very fair.
If he were to make my list, it would be in the number 7 spot. I'd have to see I'd have to see who doesn't make your list first. But I mean, I'm not going to kill you for putting Batista at number 6.
Ready for the heat?
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm going to get the heat. A lot of people, I think, will put this man in the top 3. I don't. I think their storylines were good enough to make the list, not good enough, but kind of overrated, to be perfectly honest. My number 5 is The Rock.
I probably would have The Rock in the 5-4 spot.
Woo, good.
I don't think that they would have.
I think a lot of people are putting The Rock in the 2 to 3 spot.
I'll catch heat later when I tell you a couple things, but no, I wouldn't. I'd put The Rock no higher than 4. Maybe 3, like if I had to really do some digging, but nah, I'm fine with The Rock being here.
I have a question for you. Did you enjoy their 2 WrestleMania matches?
I did.
Both of them?
I really liked the second one better.
Okay.
I wasn't huge on the first one. It was okay. But I thought the second one was really good.
Now that was nearly a 3-year-old story because that starts at WrestleMania. What is it? 27?
7, yeah. And then they fought at 28 and 29.
Then they fought at 28, 29. Now through that whole arc, did it hold you? Were you like, this is the main event? This is a main event story for 3 straight years?
No, because Rock was barely there, right? So. They didn't tell a story for 3 years. They announced a match a year in advance. They announced a match a year in advance. Rock did a tag match with Cena and then showed back up at the Rumble, and that was it. Like Rock did 8 appearances over 3 years. So
I mean, the MVP of this whole thing was The Miz.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I'm fine with Rock being here.
Again with the heat, because I think you would put this guy in your top 3, but he's my number 4, but he definitely 1,000% belongs in the list. We're going to the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
I don't think Brock makes my list at all.
Wow. Knowing how much of a Brock fan you are, I'm extremely surprised by this.
We're not talking about we're talking about best rivals. I don't know. To me, Brock just kills John Cena every time they fight.
I don't know. It's just been this has been this long story of, they had their rivalry in Brock's first run, and then when Brock made his return, it was against John, and then you have the stuff that's happened over the last 10 years, and then on this tour, I don't know.
I don't know. Brock's okay.
Brock's always that devil for Sean for.
I really only enjoyed
John.
I really only enjoyed their Extreme Rules match, and that's
okay.
That build, I like that thing they did, and I really loved. I think Cena became a star when he did that rivalry with Brock the first time around. I thought Cena's promo work was phenomenal there, but other than that, I can't tell you I've really enjoyed much of Cena and Brock together.
Wow.
Yeah, not my cup.
I'm not upset. I'm just surprised.
Not my cup of tea. And I do love me some Brock Lesnar, but
yeah, you do.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right. Well, you'll agree with my number three. I don't know if you agree with the placement. You'll definitely agree that he belongs on the list. Um, I think number three is the perfect spot for him because he's just been. When you think of John Cena, you think of Randy Orton.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's not higher than three. Unpopular opinion. I think their rivalry is very overrated.
That's the thing. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think the unpopular opinion is me putting him at number three. I think a lot of people got sick and tired of John and Randy together. I never did. I loved their stories together. I
Oh, I
loved their
was
matches.
not.
I
I was not
no,
in
and
that
I know
boat.
you were.
When
And a lot of I'm in the minority here. I know that.
I think number three is a great spot for Randy.
I
I think it's a great spot for him. I think that his top two are pretty obvious. I honestly would probably have AJ at number three, Randy number four, Rock number five.
the okay. The number one and two, I don't think are even questions. It's who goes where. If you disagree with my placement, it doesn't really matter because these are so fucking interchangeable.
I don't think you have a wrong answer here.
I agree with you. There is no wrong answer here. I think John would agree with my placement here. Just based on the interviews I've heard, I think John would agree with this, and I think that's what influenced my placement. So I'm putting my number two as Edge.
Yeah, okay, so obviously number one is CM Punk. Here's my
Yes, sir.
thing. Here's my thing with these guys. Um, I love the feud, like the storyline better between Edge and
Edge.
Cena,
Agreed.
but I think Punk and Cena did better everything together.
It
Their
felt.
their promo work was better, their matches were better.
It also felt more real with
If
Punk. There was something a little
100%.
bit more personal, and
Well, I
you
mean,
know.
other than Edge beating the shit out of John's dad, but I mean that was all kind of like,
But
there was a lot of silliness with Edge and
that
Cena
was
as well.
that was personal, but you knew it was personal, but you knew it was a story. You knew with the Cena stuff. Sometimes you were like, "Shit, is this real?"
I
Like, you know.
I agree with how you have it. I agree with Edge at two and Punk at one.
I I switched it around a lot. My initial list, Edge was at my number one. Because I made this list initially weeks ago.
Mhm.
Then I listened to John's interview with Chris Van Vliet, and I listened to a couple other interviews that John did over the last few weeks, and he kept calling, even though you and I have called Edge his Joker, he has called Punk his Joker. And that had to weigh with me. That had to say something for me, saying, if it was that personal for John for real, if he looks at Punk and says, he's my guy, he's my best rival, that had to do something for me.
Yeah.
So that was the weighing factor. If I was like, okay, which one, that's what tipped the scale for me was, do I know better than John Cena?
I think I the only difference I think I would make is I think I would take Brock off and put Kevin Owens on.
Kevin Owens, eh?
I enjoyed their rivalry a lot.
Okay. I have a name that would be on my list before Kevin Owens.
My other honorable mention that I would think about is Umaga as well.
Interesting.
I
That's
really
funny.
I really like their Royal Rumble rivalry. I thought it was really good.
Wow. I only wrote down two honorable mentions. One I know you disagree with wholeheartedly because you've told me this on the show more than once. I loved his rivalry with JBL. I really
Yeah.
do.
I mean,
I really
looking
do.
like going back and
It
watching
what
it, it's a lot more fun, but at the time I was not into it.
both as John or JBL, I should say, as his opponent and JBL as a commentator.
Hmm.
He was the Bobby the Brain Heenan to Cena's Hogan. He really was, and I loved every part of that. I love it. He was this close to making the list, this
Hmm.
close. Um, and then another man coming very close to making the list was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, that's fair.
I highly consider Bray.
I have two honorable mentions as well on top of the
Mhm.
ones I just named. Nexus. I really
Okay,
enjoyed the work with Nexus, minus
sure.
I think if they would have changed that SummerSlam finish and
Hmm.
really kept that going, I think that would be one of John's greatest rivalries.
Sure.
And this one, maybe a little fun, I don't know. The fans.
uh, we definitely did touch on that last week, talking about the fans, how they went from booing him every single week to John Cena is my favorite wrestler. You want to know why Chris Van Vliet thinks that John got from there to there? Go back and listen last week. Phenomenal answer from Chris.
That's it. And I think that's a great place that we should start taking it home, my friend.
Well, before we go home, I do want to talk about one thing. Well, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, maybe in the new year, everything got changed the last couple of weeks. We didn't expect to get what we got from Chris. We got magic with Chris, and sometimes you just got to call an audible. Tyler and I said, because we weren't expecting to drop that interview for you guys until after the new year, and Tyler and I looked at each other and said, no, that's got to go out now. Which means the canned interview that I had, or the canned conversation I have with Adam, never got aired, and it will be eventually because it's a really fun conversation.
It will
I
be
just have
next.
to
It will
say
be
this
next
out.
week. It will be next week.
Oh, all right. So it looks
Yes.
like I have the week off next week.
Yes, I
You're
need
going to
the
be
week off
hearing
next week.
our all right. This is perfect. So you'll be hearing from me and Adam next week. We will be counting down the top 7 greatest retirement matches of all time. The reason I'm forewarning you now is because the stuff we talk about before the list is very timed out. This was before our conversation with CVV. This was before the
Yeah,
match with
you guys
the
recorded
John
it.
Cena's last
You guys
match.
recorded it 2 weeks ago, so
Yeah.
it'll be 3 weeks
So
by air. So
it's a little aged out, but it's a fun conversation nonetheless. So you got to hear it, and it's not a Adam content conversation. So put on your pajamas, get ready. He goes for at least 6 hours.
yes, that is correct. But we do not go for 6 hours, and that's why I'm making us go home right now.
Yes, sir. Until next week, my friends, as Chris Van Vliet would say, hit a stone cold stunner on that follow button. We love you. Until next week, my friends, you've been counted out.
Cheers.